Hey, how are we doing there, guys and gals? Welcome back. So today is the day where we finally get to swap out the Kawasaki ZX-9R's clutch, and I'm hoping it's going to be a fairly simple process, but the tools that I've got for today's job, we've got a fairly basic tool set, just a regular old socket set. This is what I got from B&Q for about 40 quid, I think it is. It's a bit of a more of a premium set, but any socket set will do. Kind of optional extras. I mean, I've got an oil drain pan here and this is a jerry can, a diesel jerry can, but I thought black would look better because I'm going to be putting oil in it. And yeah, it's a little bit of a pain because I only recently did an oil change and filter change on this bike, and I really was tempted to try doing this without having to drop the oil, but I don't know, because in the little oil window here, I mean, the bike is tipping over this way towards us a little bit, so that's why it's looking full. But when it's over on its kickstand, you can't see the oil level whatsoever, but it looks like as we take off this clutch casing here, it looks like there might be some at the bottom. So I don't think I've got much of a choice here. If you really wanted to, you probably could do this without dropping the oil, but I don't know, I'm going to do it anyway, and then I'm going to reuse the oil that I pull out. So for the replacement parts, might as well show you whilst we're here. I've got, I can't get my fingers underneath it. We've got some Walker's crisps. I don't know, Walker's motorcycle clutch. I've got a new gasket as well, and finally the new clutch springs that I've been waiting for about a week and a half. So they finally arrived. But right, yeah, let's crack on. Washer's getting stuck as well. Yeah, the washer's stuck on there. Okay, bit of a pain. So it looks like for the fairing we've got to take off this piece here and this piece underneath, but that should be it, because both these pieces will come off independently of each other. So you've got the bolts right here along the top. Yeah, makes our lives just a little bit easier. Yeah, it's really annoying this happened now. I mean, this oil's got less than 1,000 miles on it. It's such a pain, but it is what it is. It's an old motorcycle, so, and I'd be surprised if this is not the original clutch. Right, so I think that's everything off this piece. There we go, that's one piece of fairing. And we've got just this bottom piece, which looks like it's just held on with that one bolt here. Yeah, it's on there good and tight. There's another one in here as well. Okay, bit of a pain. So looks like the underside of this fairing is actually connected all the way around. It's a bit of a pain. Okay, let's just go do the bottom bit on the other side, I suppose. I mean, to be fair, I've got enough access here, I think, but I would prefer to just take this piece off. Right, just go and take off these screws at the back as well, I think. Right, there we go. Yeah, all that is one piece. Okay. Right, now we've got access to clutch casing. Oh god, I just noticed. It's like a dent in it. Just there. Okay, well, it is a 24-year-old motorcycle, so yeah, it's not a big deal. Right, so yeah, most of this oil is drained off. I let's go ahead and start undoing some of these bolts. I'm going to reiterate, I've not done this before. I'm not a mechanic, so follow what I'm doing at your own risk. I'm doing this in a star-shaped pattern, but I don't think it will make much of a difference, to be honest, taking this off. Fingers crossed the gasket comes off in one piece.
I'm going to take these ones off first, because it's actually holding the clutch cable in place on the bracket. Take these out.
Pretty sure that all these bolts are going to be the same size, but we'll have to keep track of it as we go. I do suspect that some oil is going to start coming out of this when I take it off.
Same size bolts, same length, should I say. I can't forget as well, the crush washer is still on the bottom there. Oh, looking good. All the same size bolts. That is service friendly, isn't it?
So I know that some bikes don't have the same size bolts for this, so it's a bit annoying. Okay, that's all the bolts off, all the same size. Put those all to one side. Right, let's see if this comes off easy. It looks like she might need a little bit of gentle persuasion. Huh. Well, that might work. There we go. Huh. Okay. Just had a thought. There was no gasket on this. I suppose whilst we're here, I should check as well that this new gasket actually fits. Yeah, it does. Wow, how the hell was that not leaking oil? There's supposed to be a gasket on here. And it's not on this side either. It's nothing. It's just bare metal to metal. Wow. Yeah, a little bit sidetracked, but well, that's a good thing that we discovered that, isn't it? I suppose. I need to get myself one of those motorcycle lifts where you can stand up and work on your bike. Doing this all the time, squatting, is just absolute nightmare. Alright. Okay. I have no idea if this is the original clutch or not, but the friction discs that I've got don't look like this. Okay. Alright, I've only got that one piece of cardboard there, so it's got the envelope here, and I'll just start taking out these one at a time. But this one here is on a different axis to the rest of the clutch plate, so the very first one. one that's at the front. And I'll flip this one over and I'll put it down that way. Well, the steel plates look really good. You can get your fingers in there to push all these forward.
Yeah, it could be the original clutch, I don't know. Could be. I mean, still, you'd think from the factory that they'd have a gasket on there. Oh, wow. Knees ache. You can still see that, right?
I do have some precision forceps just in case I wasn't able to get the last one out. So let's just see if we can get it out with these. There you go, helped a little bit. Not necessary, but I suppose you can use anything really. Get your fingers in there. There we go, there's the last one. Right, so there are some bits right at the back which you can leave, they can stay there. But yeah, that is pretty much it for removing the old clutch. The next thing to do is to put in the new one in pretty much the exact same order. I'll stack these. Alright, so there's a lot of debate online about what you should do with new friction plates with regard to lubricating them. Now there are loads of tutorials online and in forums. They will say about soaking these in oil for 24 hours. I don't see how that would make a difference. They seem to think that this material, the friction material, like absorbs the oil and that. And I think to myself, well, that would totally change the tolerances of these friction discs. So I don't know if I believe that, and it looks like the wisdom of most mechanics is that you can just dip them in the oil before you put them back into the clutch basket. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wait 24 hours. I mean, do you think mechanics wait 24 hours soaking friction discs in oil before they install them? No, absolutely not. All right, so here we go, first dip. And in it goes. Get rid of these, put them to one side. Now looking at these steel plates, they look all right. Now I've seen again some tutorials online about roughing these up a little bit before you install them, but I think that's if these are smooth. And this one, well, this whole set has still got the little holes in here, the little texture in there, so I'm just going to put them in as is. I mean, if it starts slipping again, then we'll know why. Right, next one. Dip in the oil. So I think the order that this goes in, it's always a friction disc at the end and at the beginning. So at the front and at the back. And then it should be a steel plate in between each friction disc. Oh man, it's killing my legs doing this. I'm killing my back leaning over like this all the time. So I saw some discussions on forums about which orientation the steel plate should go in, because I mean, pretty much because they're stamped, it's stamped steel, you've got a sharp side and a soft side, and people are even debating that in these forums, and I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't matter, it's the same either way. I don't know. Although I'm looking forward to testing this bike out with the new clutch. It's going to be sick. So you see this one's got a little bit of bluing on it. I don't know if you can see that, it's a little bit shiny, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I could just get another pack of these as well, but I'm all about saving money. I'm a penny pincher, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And besides, if I've got to do this again, then it's not a big deal.
Nearly at the end. We've got one more steel plate to go in. Come on.
There we go. Right. So the last friction disc. So this is the one that has to be orientated a slightly different way. Like that. I think that's right. Well, we'll find out in a second, I suppose. Right, so I think all the clutch plates are in as they're supposed to be. I've moved the last one over to this other little notch here. So I think we're on the home stretch now. Should just be a case of, well, lining this up properly. The inside here, you can see there's little teeth in there lining up with the inside teeth of the basket itself. Let's take this bit out, put that in there. Right, should make it a little bit easier for us to line up. Okay. Right, there we go. And that moves freely as it should. Okay. Right, that looks okay. So now it should just be a case of installing the new springs. I've already put them in here. So yeah, and then we should be done here. Now apparently these springs should be torqued down to roughly 8 foot-pounds or so, but I'm not going to worry about that so much. I mean, basically you don't want to over tighten them. But I mean, the basket will start moving if you try and tighten it more than it should anyway, so you should be all right. But I mean, what is 8 foot-pounds in Newton meters? About 12, 13 Newton meters, something like that. So yeah, but I wouldn't worry about that so much, because most torque wrenches don't even go down that far. You need a really well, what's the word, a precision torque wrench for those kinds of torque numbers, but it should be all right. Right, there we go. Okay. So that's in there good. Right, so the last bit is to get on this gasket. Now, the reason why it's a little bit oily is because I'd tried it on and it does fit, which is all good. But yeah, let's get this one on here. Oh, wait. Ah, there was a gasket on there. And it actually looks in really good condition. It's a steel gasket. That can probably be reused. I'm glad I double checked now. Right, okay. Been fiddling with this bloody thing for the past half an hour, trying to get it right. Okay, let's see if we can line this up now. By the way, these little pins here, they come out, alright? So one fell out on me earlier and I was like, where the hell did that come from? And just so you guys are aware. Right, let's get this in. Way. There we go. Right, put that on later. Alright, there we go. Okay. Oh man. My knees are killing me. Well, I suppose before we tighten everything down, we'll just give the clutch lever a bit of a pull, just to make sure that it's actually doing what it's supposed to be doing. Oh man, my knees. Been in that position for such a long time. Been out here for about an hour and a half, I think now. Oh man, yeah. This is going to be a killer on your knees if you do this yourselves and you haven't got one of those stand-up rigs that the mechanics have. I'm going to cut myself as well. It's always good, isn't it? Right, so let's get this thing back on. So I'll just do these top two and then one at the bottom. Then I'll give the clutch a bit of a tug. We'll see what happens. Right, let's see what happens here. Well, it works. Definitely feels heavier than before, but yeah, feels good. So let's go ahead and tighten up the rest of these bolts, and then we go out for a test ride. Woohoo! Right, so all these are loosely in. I'm going to start tightening them down. They don't need too much torquing as far as I'm aware. So yeah, don't overdo it. Just need a little bit at a time. Right, go over these one last time. Last thing that we want is to do this, tighten this up, and then oil starts puking out of it. Right, that I think is done. There we go. That feels good at the lever. And we can tighten this one down. This side is basically the locking nut. That feels good. And I've just locked it off at the handle end. Good, feels good. Right, let's put the old drain bolt back in and we'll fill it back up with oil. Pretty sure the washer is on here still. Or it's fallen into the oil. I suppose there's only one way for me to find out. It's definitely not on the bolt. Yeah, it's fallen off into the oil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to strain the oil through a little sieve into the jerry can that I've got, and then at the bottom there should be a washer. Then from the jerry can I'll fill up the oil. Well, from there I'll put the drain bolt back in, then fill her up. See in there's a little sieve in there which hopefully should find our washer and also any debris that, well, that kind of fell in there, I suppose. Right, let's pour this oil in here. There it is, there's my washer. It's good this, and I'll get a chance to see if there's any flakes in the oil. Any specks of shiny bits. There shouldn't be, but the oil's looking okay at the moment from what I can see. That should do. Yeah, there's my washer. Just in there, that's good to go. In here, doesn't look like there's too many bits that should be a concern. There's nothing shiny. That's the main thing, it's not shiny. Right, time to put this oil back in the bike. I'll do. Right. Yeah, all level looks good. Hopefully this isn't leaking. Oh, I don't see any leaks. Do you guys see any leaks? Looking alright, isn't it? Yeah. Right, well, I think we're done here. I suppose the last thing to do would be to turn the bike on, see if it engages gears first. Then we can take it down for a little test ride up and down the road. Make sure it's all okay, but I think this is pretty much it for the clutch change. Now, bearing in mind this is the first time I've ever done this, and it took roughly about 2 hours, I'd say, all in all, to do this job. So it's not that taxing really. I mean, most of it is just having to squat all the time whilst you're working on it. But yeah, for the most part, it's quite a straightforward job. But, well, we'll wait and see if that's the same answer that if that's the same conclusion that I've got after we've gone out for a test ride. Right, well, wish me luck, because I'm not a mechanic. But if this works and I can do it, you can definitely do it. Here goes nothing. Are we still okay leaks wise? Yep, dry. Right, first gear test, here we go. She got into gear. Right, okay, let's see. Get stopped. Yep, all good. Right, well, so far, preliminary testing, we look in pretty good shape. Okay. Right, well, I suppose last thing to do is take her out for a road test. Right, let's go. I shouldn't be nervous because I've done things right as far as I'm aware. But yeah, let's see how we get on. As with all old bikes, it's got a few screws missing. Like me, it's got a few screws loose. Oh man. Right, okay. Now we can take her out. All right. Woo. Well, goblins, I think that was a successful mission. The clutch bites very, very well. I took her out for about 5-10 minutes or so, going through all the gears as well. And yeah, the clutch feels quite good. The springs are definitely heavier than the older ones. I don't know if I like that or not yet. I think I prefer the lighter pull of my old springs, but I'm sure I'll get used to them. I'm sure it's not going to be a big deal. One thing I have noticed is getting into neutral is a little bit difficult, so I imagine that I'll have to adjust the clutch cable ever so slightly, but other than that, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. So as always, let me know what you think down in the comment section below if I made any mistakes or anything like that. But if this has helped you out, then leave a like, get subscribed, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future Kawasaki ZX-9R uploads. And we will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.